Time now for our Sunday check-in. We are here with speaker and author James Vukelich. James, you are a teacher. You've taught at the U of M. You've got a big social media following here, and I'm so excited to talk to you today about tradition, Indigenous tradition, and how it affects us and just living better lives, right?
Indeed.
And I know this is a deep start. You've written a book here. You've talked a lot about the Ojibwe language, and you have a word of a day you'd like to tell people about on social media.
I do. Word of the day is something I look forward to daily, of course, and it's a moment for me to share a brief moment of Ojibwe language, culture, history, and spirituality with people. I really enjoy doing that.
And this is a very deep 7-generation approach. Okay, so the number 7 is big to you. We have a copy of your book here. You can kind of see it. 7 is a big number. Talk to us about that number in this generational approach to living a better life.
And it's a beautiful Indigenous approach and worldview. 7 generations, it's one that shows up internationally in Indigenous country. And from an Ojibwe perspective, there's this word. It's a family term. We say Indonako Bichigan. And it can mean my great-grandparent, it can mean my great-grandchild, it can also mean my ancestor. But really, what that word means is that being I'm inextricably interconnected to, that being I'm inextricably linked to. And when you look at that word logically, it implies 7 generations. And so because we are inextricably interconnected, all of our actions have the potential to affect someone 7 generations from now.
That's how important it is. I love that too, because I think we get so stuck in our lives, our world, but there are consequences for our generation that go on way beyond us.
Indeed, and kind of in a society, and I know I have a lot of social media, but we can kind of become self-centered, focused on ourselves, and maybe not aware of the consequences of our actions and our decisions. And that's what I speak about in this book.
And on the same token here, we talk about trauma. We hear generational trauma. That can go down so many generations.
Indeed. And if you're not aware of it, you may be passing it down unwittingly. So in that case, because we are inextricably interconnected, our great-grandparents, their lives, have the potential to affect the decisions that we make. And again, if we're not aware of that, we may pass that down to our children, our grandchildren, and even great-grandchildren.
Okay, something else you talk about here is living the good life.
Indeed.
It's a good phrase, but kind of go deep on that. What does that mean when we apply it to our lives?
For the Anishinaabe, for the Ojibwe, our Chippewa people, leading the good life it's the main goal while we're here. And it is a life that we find peace and balance with our environment, with our ecosystem. It's a life without conflict with our relatives. It's a holistic life, a life where our actions are in alignment with our words. And in the second part of this book, I talk about how our ancestors, those Indonako Bichigan, have left us a way to do that.
To live that good life.
Indeed.
Okay, so your book, tell us again, the 7 generations and the 7 grandfather teaching. What will people get from this?
This is a perspective of how to lead a good life from your friends and your neighbors and relatives here in Minnesota and in Canada as well. It will give you an insight in how you can act in a way that will positively be beneficial for someone, not just today, but for someone coming 7 generations from now. And we do that by talking about the Ojibwe words for love, Sagiduan, Debwewin, truth, Kwakwa virtue, righteousness, honesty. Dabasain Dizuan, humility, Manajiduan, respect. Zungide strength of heart, courage, and Nibwakawen, wisdom and intelligence.
Wisdom and intelligence. Well, thank you for sharing your wisdom with us. And we want people to be able to find you. How can they find you on social media?
I'm on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok at James Vukelich, and my website, you can keep in touch with me there as well, at jamesvukelich.com.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for helping us live the good life.